greetings to you. Thanks for joining us on the Friday edition of the show. It's the last one for the week. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Of course, on the show tonight, we'll talk about the start of the FIFA Women's World Cup. Tomorrow, Nigeria Super Falcons begin their campaign in the tournament. We'll talk about all of that, and hopefully we'll have a robust conversation on all of that. As you already know, it's a two-man show. My colleague, Austin Okon-Akpan, is suited and ready as to take you on the street across the money-spinning world of sports. Greetings to you, Austin. It feels so good to be on the show tonight.
Always a delight to be on the show with you, Yemi. Sporty greetings to you. And of course, our viewers joining us from different parts of the world. Still an action-packed world of sports. We said let the games begin, and it has started right there in Australia and New Zealand. Big wins for the host, but Yemi, with the results that we've already seen from the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup, I don't think we're going to see those basketball results that we're expecting, because it was really tight today. And it tells you that this Women's World Cup will be competitive.
Definitely will be competitive. And just like I said, we're expecting to have a robust conversation. An ex-international, that leads little or no introduction, will be joining us later on to help us preview that game that we're expecting that Nigeria should at least get something from. But we're going to start tonight by letting our viewers see, just in case they've not seen it, the fireworks, the beautiful display, of course, that led to, that was the opening ceremony today. Of course, overshadowed by, of course, an incident that happened in Auckland. But nonetheless, it was beauty to behold. The opening ceremony, fireworks everywhere. And of course, like we always say, Austin, the new one always beats the old one way or the other. It was a very good opening ceremony, Austin.
It was a fantastic opening ceremony, nothing short of expectations, because so much talking points before, this FIFA Women's World Cup, kicked off today. And this opening ceremony was one that was going to get us talking. And oh yes, it did. The fireworks, it was so beautiful, showed the beauty of the women's game. And of course, made us, anticipate more of the action, because each time we see those fireworks go in the air, and the opening ceremony was beautiful also. Fantastic, I would say, all round, because we've looked forward to all of these, and New Zealand and Australia didn't disappoint. Whatever it is that has happened, it's unfortunate before the start of the opening ceremony, but the moment those fireworks got in the air, we saw the singing and the dancing. I was so ready, and I was so pumped up for the action. And yes, indeed, when the action came, it was what I was expecting.
All right, interesting. I guess we can then go on to take you through the results of the things that happened today. We can go on and on about the opening ceremony. It was a beautiful display, and you could also look forward to the closing ceremony. But from this point till we get to that, let's enjoy the football. And talking about the football, was a good day for the co-hosts. Of course, both teams getting a win. So let's just give you a confirmation of those results. You're going to see it pop up. Of course, New Zealand got the win against highly fancied Norway. And of course, Australia without Samantha Kerr. She got injured. She will miss 2 matches. And there you have it on your screen. And by now, you would understand why Austin thinks we will not see that those basketball score lines in football. New Zealand beat Norway 1-0. In my own opinion, the Norwegians disappointed a lot of people. They were so content to sit back and allow, of course, the ladies from New Zealand to just, come at them. And Australia against Ireland, of course, the tears from the Irish lady that gave away the penalty. She was inconsolable because she knew that was the very tiny margin that gave the Aussies victory in that game. In spite of all their possession and everything that they did, was just by fine margins. And so, Austin, there you have it, 1-0, 1-0. Both New Zealand and Australia could settle in now. And again, we talked about the anticipated record audience in both stadiums at Eden Park, and of course, where the Australians played as well. Never before has it been seen, not even in a men's game.
I know, 75,784 persons watched that game between Australia and their opponent at the start of the Women's World Cup. What a story. 74,784 massive for the development of women's football. I'll say it again. Look, with everything FIFA has done, with all of the talks before the start of the World Cup, I am so happy that this opening day fixture got us talking the way it did. And with Australia and Ireland, look, Yemi, we did the analysis. We said it could have gone anywhere. And without Sam Kerr, Catley took the captain's armband and said, no problem. And when she stepped up to take that penalty, the roar from the stadium, it's what we see in the men's game. We are beginning to see it now in the women's game, the passion, the excitement, the anticipation, and the record attendance. Beautiful for women's football. And what a great start for the host. Australia needed to win. They did. New Zealand, the pundits easily would have given it to Norway, but somehow they were able to, get that 1-0 win. And that's why I'm so convinced that this World Cup is going to be competitive. But with that record-breaking attendance, I love it. Let the games give us more to talk about.
I love it as well, Austin. While we keep our guest on the wraps for now, we're sorting it out. Let's bring Bolo Money into the thick of things. Bolo, greetings to you. I guess by now I'm used to seeing you on the other side. Greetings to you. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight. Straight away, let me get your thoughts on the two matches you've seen and all the stories around the two matches.
Hi, good evening, Yemi, and of course, good evening, Austin, my fellow virtual man. The truth is, I agree 100% with what both of you have said. People did not expect these two games to end 1-0. Australia, they were the favorites against Ireland, but for New Zealand beating Norway with the guy who got back into the team after absence, I know it felt like a straight win for Norway. It just shows the competition is coming back. Yeah,
okay.
We may still see some.
All right, Bolu, I have to put you on pause. I have to put you on a pause talking about that victory. A lot of people didn't expect the ladies from New Zealand to get the job done. I don't know if Austin agrees. It could have been more, Austin. A penalty loss, some chances also thrown away. At no point were the Norwegians in the game. At no point were they. Should we say it's credit to the ladies from New Zealand, or the Norwegians had an uncharacteristic bad day?
Give it to the 12th fan, Yemi. The 12th woman on the stands, the fans kept cheering their team, kept pushing them all the way, and I think that affected the game plan of the Norwegians. Look, I was part of those who gave this game to Norway easy, and you cannot blame me. Norway is ranked 12th in the world in women's football, and then New Zealand is ranked 26th. But there's just some fire that comes with hosting a major competition, such as the World Cup. And we knew that New Zealand, they've been prepping and pumping up the passion even before the start of the World Cup. And you listen to Kojitka, that's what she said right there. She said that this World Cup will wake up a lot of passion in football. And when you get to see odd results such as this, it will motivate smaller teams to say, look, we can do it. And for New Zealand, it's the perfect start for them. I'm very sure that Norway will put themselves back together and see how they can, get into the action. But 100%, New Zealand stayed focused to go on to win. But I want to give it to the spectators. They were making a whole lot of noise. They were cheering the team from start to finish, and that paid off.
All right. Jury is still out on Norway. Had good players, good team. A lot of us still a bit dazed, really. Not that the ladies from New Zealand won is my problem, but the way they played. And like I said earlier, at any point, it didn't look like they were in the game. They hit the woodwork once. Yeah, that's probably the only chance they had in that game. And we're beginning to look at it. And even Australia, I mean, who we thought were miles ahead of the Irish, got to the field. I mean, it was just one clumsy foul that led to the penalty. But still staying with the Norwegians, Austin, before we go to the other game, I mean, what can be done? Because the strategy for this game was off. I felt man for, should I say woman for woman now? I felt I felt they were better somehow, but they doesn't show up.
They were, and opening games are that tricky, I mean. They were better, maybe to an extent, complacent. What New Zealand needed to do was just look for that opportunity that would pump them, and they got it, and they kept on to it till the end of the game, you know. And for a game as this, where you are, you know, the least favorite to win, and you have all of the fans supporting you, and it's a home game, opening game of a crucial World Cup. When you have a chance, you take it, and when you take that chance, you protect it. You know, so they would have just said to themselves that whatever will make us, you know, get ahead of this game, we must do everything we can to frustrate the Norwegians. Just a bad day, you know, for the Norwegian team, because um, they didn't expect the game to go the way it went for them. But it happens in football. I think they also lost it in the middle of the park a number of times. They were a bit clueless about what to do with the ball, and their finishing also was questionable. But it is what it is. I think New Zealand did just enough to get this win, particularly, as I said earlier, the support that they got from the fans. And I love it so much. I mean, you know, I love oddity, you know, and the fact that New Zealand could get me pumped up with this win, then let the World Cup give us more to talk about. Bolu is ready now. Let me bring Bolu into it. Bolu, to an extent, pundits can say that Norway, they were unfortunate. Are you part of those pundits who believe that it was just a bad day for them?
I think it happens like that when the favorites don't win. We try to make excuses for them. Oh, this is what happened. This will happen. The truth is, I always go back to 2018 FIFA World Cup for Russia. Russia were ranked one of the worst teams in the tournament, but they got a good opening win. And since then, it's been a great, great team for Russia. So New Zealand knew what they needed to do. And like you rightly said, Austin, they used the home fans as well. And they got the opening win. And that can be the start of a new thing for them. They've never won at the Women's World Cup before. They've been here 5 times, no single win. And this time around, as host, the opening game, people would have felt, well, a few hosts have lost and they may end up joining that league. But they said, no, we're going to pick our first win against the favorites. Yes, sometimes when you are the underdog, you need to tell everybody, yes, that's just a tag. Come to play our football. And it could have been two, if not for the late penalty miss. But I'm sure they wouldn't mind because they ended up winning. So it means one thing, no way that you step up, back your bag away from you.
That's what it is, and it's tricky at this point, particularly after losing your first game. Let's go to the second match that we saw. Australia beating Ireland. That's it. No Sam Kerr, no problem. As Steph Catley took the responsibility to ensure that the Aussies get their opening win at the FIFA Women's World Cup. 1-0 against Ireland. Yeah, I mean, that was another tricky game also, because if you look at them, I think Australia is ranked 10th. The Irish team, they are ranked 22nd. So they're not far off. And with everything that Ireland seems to have been doing with women's football, I knew that it was going to be a very tricky game. And that leads us to the important fixture between Nigeria and Canada tonight. Now, with this win, Bolu, let me bring you in quickly. Does this put pressure on Nigeria and Canada to win in their fixture later on today?
Well, even if the game had ended in a draw, whatever, obviously they will always be under pressure. Winning your first game in any tournament is very important. And yes, we've seen it not win. We saw Spain not win in 2010. We saw Argentina not win this last World Cup. But you still have to try everything you can to win your first game. On paper, man for man, or let me do like Yemi, woman for woman, they are the better side, the Olympic champions and everything. But Falcons know that many people are not expecting much from them. So me, for example, I want them to disappoint me. I don't think they can win this game, but I would so love them to disappoint me. But all boils down to the table of the coach. Now there will be no Alimoto Ayinde in the lineup because of the red card that worked on. Same thing for Rashidat Ajibade. We need our best legs against Canada. Again, they are the favorites, but we need to muscle them. We need to outrun them. If possible, we need to outthink them. I would love to see as Masato Shoala. I know Uchenna Kanu doesn't start for around the World Cup. I would love to see Uchenna Kanu here. We need players with intelligence who play in America, who has done there before. But hopefully we get. I want them to disappoint me. I wish they can.
Maybe, you know, we saw what New Zealand did today against Norway, and football can be that interesting. I like the fact that they are pumped up, and Onome has been talking tough on behalf of the team. They want to make it a memorable World Cup. Yemi, in about 6-7 hours time, we'll know.
We will. And we will. Let's even just quickly take a look at what is on the screen right now. Match details: Nigeria and Canada, and you have the time 3:30 a.m. Nigerian time. The venue is the Melbourne Rectangular Stadium. You have the names of the referee down to the fourth official for the game. An important fixture in Group B. So that's just for our viewers. You need to know that if you want to watch the Super Falcons, you need to deny yourself of sleep. 3:30 a.m. and be ready. And to answer your question, Austin, I was a bit nervous before I saw that game between New Zealand and the Norwegians. Then I learned a lesson. If you follow your game plan and execute it well, you discover the Achilles heel of your opponents and you exploit it. What New Zealand did in that game was just to stop the Norwegians from having time on the ball. In fact, I don't think I've seen men press the way the ladies from New Zealand pressed them so much, pressed them to making mistakes, and the keeper had no other choice than to kick the ball in. And once she does that, it's back to the ladies from New Zealand. So if for once, maybe Coach Randy Wardrum will surprise us, get his tactics spot on, try to look for the weakness of the Canadians and exploit it. It definitely can be done. But one thing that shouldn't happen is to try to play their game. Once we try to do that, we're definitely going to lose. But if we use our natural strengths and try to exploit their own weakness, it's possible. And I don't know where I'm getting this optimism from, but seeing those ladies from New Zealand getting the job done in that fashion, pressing their opponents and making them look so ordinary, if we get the tactics spot on, we have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I can feel your passion, and your optimism. And that's all you can give, particularly from Lagos, Nigeria, when the girls are doing their thing in Melbourne. I totally agree. Using the New Zealand formula that we saw today, if you cannot match them talent for talent, it disrupts their plans. But you must also come with a plan. And that's what we're hoping that Coach Randy Wardrum will bring into the game against Australia. And with the result in the game against Canada, with the result I've seen from Group A, Switzerland will be pumped up now, even the Philippines, because now anything can happen in that Group A. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take talking points from the Super Falcons camp. Are they ready against Canada? They will tell us. Don't go anywhere. Stay.
Welcome back. Before we went on that break, Austin talked about the Super Falcons and talked about us hearing from them. We're going to do just that. Of course, issues around pay is generating a lot of controversy across board, not just Nigeria. And FIFA is trying to address the issue one way or the other. Gianni Infantino has been speaking. They're trying to do it. But of course, the Super Falcons are letting us know that they remain focused in spite of all the issues surrounding the pay disputes all over. But they are focused for the game against Canada. But to put it in context, it's not just Nigeria. It's almost everybody at this point. And when you hear Tony Payne and Coach Randy Wardrum saying, look, they're not going to focus on that. They'll focus on Canada. It's heartwarming. Let me get Bolu's thoughts. Bolu, you listen to this. How encouraged are you that the ladies and the coaching crew are ready to focus on the game? Because this issue around what FIFA decided to do is causing a bit of attention, not just Nigeria, everywhere. Everybody's talking about it. But on our side, to hear the stakeholders saying, look, we're focused on the game, I think it's heartwarming.
On that one, I think FIFA really need to step up on that. If FIFA say they will pay men $100,000, believe me, no men's national team federation will tell them not to take out their money. But like Riley said, it's everywhere. For the Lionesses, same thing. And about last week, they said they're not talking about it for now, that they'll come after the tournament. Now, I like that around the world, and of course, Tony Payne have said the same. Leave all those things. Distractions will always come. Put their side. Focus on the game itself. Because if they lose these games, many will keep talking about everything that happened. This is why they lost. Like they are focused on this. So now it's about Canada first. We're not even thinking about Australia. We're not thinking about Ireland. First thing is or Canada. Whatever happens, we can now talk later. So maybe my confidence is still not 100% of them winning, but at least I'm okay that they are not talking. Randy said everything I said before the tournament. Now it's about the game itself. Let's focus on the team, which is the most important thing. So hopefully they do well. I'm convinced that their mind is set to the game. Hopefully, like you and Austin Riley said, they will come up with their A game at the same time, find a way to disrupt Canada. As much as we are not expecting much, every Nigerian will be happy if they win that game against Canada. So all the best to the Super Falcons. By 5:30 a.m. tomorrow, we'll know what the outcome.
All right, and especially what is surrounding a lot of people in Nigeria. I mean, we'll take good news from anywhere if we get it. And also, I mean, let's come to you. This pay issue is everywhere. It's generating a lot of controversy. Well, some of the top nations are a bit calm about it, but the players want a clear-cut explanation. The federations seem to struggle with the explanation, and even FIFA is trying to straighten out what they've said. We're going to give it to the. I mean, they've muddied the waters.
Yeah. No, it gets to tell you how deep women's football have gotten with this issue of equality, and they feel cheated and they don't trust the federations. That's just the truth. I was hoping that we'll get the former Super Falcons captain to come with a wealth of experience and let us understand this issue around money, because it was pleasant, it was heartwarming when it was announced that money is coming into women's football, but now it gets to it's gradually becoming something that is tied around politics, because even FIFA cannot even understand why what was supposed to be a pleasant news has somehow become the major distraction of the FIFA Women's World Cup in New Zealand and Australia. Hopefully tomorrow we'll get someone who is deep into women's football administration to help us understand, because we celebrated it, we're happy for the ladies, but it's so obvious, because when FIFA brings money and say this is for women's football, the federation will go and use it for something else. We've seen women's teams struggle to even get proper welfare. Women's team in Africa, even the Matildas, they had to fight. The women's football team in America, the case went to court. So it's not just Africa, it's worldwide. And maybe we should join the women. We have all men on this show and demand for equality, because they do so well. So I don't understand now that FIFA wants to bring in money. People are saying no. Makes me remember pay to me directly. So
directly.
I just hope that I just hope that it doesn't kill the fun that we're expecting from the Women's World Cup. I love the action that I've seen today. I just hope that Nigeria and Canada will take it a notch further, give us some beautiful football, and hopefully the Super Falcons will win. And we'll not talk about money till they get to where they intend to get at this FIFA Women's World Cup. Yeah, me.
All right, that's good. Let's leave the matter and move on the show. Let's talk about this. Other matches, of course, we've talked extensively about the Super Falcons, but other matches, the Philippines making their debut will be up against Switzerland immediately after our game, 6 a.m. Nigerian time. Spain will be up against Costa Rica. Feast of football on Friday. If you love women's football, if you love football, basically, if you love football, just watch out for this matches. Spain, Costa Rica, 8:30 a.m. It's when that game is going to be played. All right, so, interesting times ahead for women's football. So before we leave the FIFA Women's Football World Cup, because, we still have other places to touch, let me quickly ask Bolu, on the other games, apart from the one that has Nigeria, on the other games, Spain, Costa Rica, the Philippines, Switzerland, where do you think the pendulum will swing quickly, as fast as you can?
Well, on paper, you don't want to say Switzerland against Philippines. Yeah, Spain, not the perennial team at the Women's World Cup, but at least in recent years, they've been one of the best. But what we saw in the opening game of the tournament, right now, it's kind of difficult to call, except to see everyone's opening game. Then maybe you can start picking out, okay, this is how they are going to perform. But on paper, you don't want to pick Switzerland and Spain to win their game. But again.
Okay, all right. I don't know if Austin shares the same view on, those two games. The way Bolu has called it.
Yeah, I think so, but I'll tell Bolu be careful, particularly after what we've seen between New Zealand and Norway. And to an extent, the Swiss and the Norwegians, they play the same kind of football, So the Philippines, we listen to them when they qualified for this competition. They will relish the fact that they have reached where they have reached and might just, you don't want to get us talking again. So I'm here for the drama, you know what I'm saying? So let's see who can get me more drama, and then I'll know that the Women's World Cup years has really started.
All right. It's good we're trying to be dispassionate, but when Nigeria is involved, it's hard to be very dispassionate. All right, let's go to Abia State in Nigeria. Austin, let me allow you to do the honors. Football
Mhm.
development. Abia State, I mean, having two clubs in the
Yeah.
Nigeria Professional Football League, and it appears like the government is ready to support both.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, putting words to action. That's what the governor of Abia State, Alex Ote, seemed to be doing. Everything he talked about during his campaign as regards sports is jumping right on it immediately. Appointed former Flying Eagles coach John Obu as chairman of Abia Warriors. Before this appointment, the great football legend of Nigeria, Kanu Wankwo Papilo, was appointed chairman of AIMBA. The governor even had a state working visit to the games village and said, look, they should make that place a proper games village. And I love it so much because we know how states try to put sports in the back corner. This man comes with a lot of experience, could John Obu, and, taking over from a respected senior colleague, Emeka Nyama. I'm sure he would want to, keep the momentum and then sustain everything that Emeka Nyama has done for football development in Abia State with Abia Warriors. Let's listen to the governor, and then we'll come back to talk some more sports development in Nigeria.
One of the things we want to do is to also to redevelop the Nsulu Games Village, and I've given a marching order to the Commissioner for Sports, and I also saw a video of Kanu Wankwo visiting the abandoned Nsulu Games Village. We are going to redevelop it, and it's not just going to be for football, but other games, other sports. And so I would like you to key into that vision, so that we can also make money out of that. And at the back of the game village is also an entertainment village.
Most of the times in this our state, it has always been a square peg in round hole. And it has been a very big problem, and we have been having issues. But this time, I assure and reassure you that we are going to get it right. We're going to deal with everything that has to do with players' business, both in the playing and making sure that our children gets an opportunity that will bring a refund into the purse of Abia State.
I love this. I love it so much, Bolu. And the governor made a very important statement about the Nsulu Games Village. He said, abandoned. You see, this is what I don't understand. We leave things to get so bad. And then he went on to say, we will not just put it together. He said, it is a good way to make money. That's someone thinking about sports and business, Bolu.
Well, Austin, I don't know what you're doing in my head. It was that money box that wow. This is someone that, and I have a bit of a bias for Abia State because that's why I serve. And immediately came on board talking about this, and I said, oh, okay. Someone who understands the game. Remember, we say it all the time on the show, always using a State as an example. That if you have someone in place that
That's
knows
right.
and love the game, you definitely see the exam. We saw Kano Wanko with the Imba. Everybody loves the Imba. Okay, maybe a Imba. Now we are seeing with Abia Warriors, someone who's respected in the business, and they are going straight to business. This is what we want to do. Look at what Remo Stars are doing. They are making lots of money for themselves by
That's
sending
right.
players abroad, grooming their own. I know Abia Warriors had good academy and good youth team. The former chairman said they will resuscitate it. Hopefully, it continues like that. Nigerian clubs can make money. We are ready to invest in it. I like that. Now it's the governor that is hitting on it, not sport minister, not FA chairman, the governor himself. The governor
That's
says
right.
this must work. You have no choice to make it work. So I think I'm happy.
I totally agree with you. And Yemi, we've been saying it in terms of sports governance that sometimes these authorities must be involved, state government, the presidency. Now, there's no way the state FA will not be serious when you see that the governor is on top of football matters himself.
Definitely. In this part, for things to work, you need to have people at the top, critical stakeholders being interested. And once they're interested, everybody knows there's no time to play, you know. And you just discover that, you know, there are people you won't know they were this intelligent until the pressure is put on them, that they could do, you know, a few things. Once you create the right environment, definitely things would turn around. And of course, as we always do, we'll continue to monitor Abia State and see what's happening. We're pressed for time, Austin, but we can't leave tonight without talking about what the NFF has done with the new board of the NPFL, changed from the IMC. And that's it. On your screen. Let me run through it. The new board of the Nigeria Professional Football League, Honorable Benga Legbele, it's the chairman, Mohamed Nasiru Saidu, it's a member, Barrister Pobeni, it's a member, Daniel Amokachi, ex-international, is the Dr. Oke Paluku also, it's a member. This is the new board, will be on the saddle for 2 years, I think. Suleiman Rumau is a member, Dominic Alpha, a member as well. Barrister Dalami Ibrahim is the secretary and the legal advisor. Davison Owomi is the CEO, chief operating officer, and they've been tasked with, of course, organizing the Nigeria Professional Football League and, you know, replicating the success they've had with what they've done with the league in the last couple of months. All right, so Austin, we're about to go, probably we'll take our parting shots, but this is a good one, looking at the individuals that are in it, and I hope they get a good working environment.
It's as simple as that. And I sent a message to Benga Elegbeleye, and I said, if you've done a good job with the Abridged League, I'm expecting a better work with the proper league, you know. So now that he's the chairman of the NPFL board, it's all about sustaining the momentum. We liked what we saw last season, you know, particularly with the way games went effectively. Welfare wasn't really an issue. Security, except for the incident between Gombe United and Remo Stars, I think on March day 12, it was pretty much a smooth season that we had. We need to sustain the momentum, and I hope that they will get that going. We've got to go. That's the show. From me right here in London, Austin Okonakpan, in everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, and Bolo Money as well. I want to thank you for your time. Hopefully we'll do this again some other time.
Congratulations to the NPL guys. Yeah.
All right, so that's it. Tonight on the show, we're going to leave you with a report on Nigeria's qualifying campaign for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. We allow you enjoy that, and it's a wrap on the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. I'll see you tomorrow.
The race to the 2026 FIFA World Cup in Canada, United States and Mexico begins in November after Confederation of African Football, CAF, conducted the draw for the continent's qualifiers. CAF places 6 teams in each of the 9 groups to conform with the expanded qualification system, where winners of the group qualify for the World Cup as against 5 in the previous format. The Super Eagles of Nigeria are drawn in Group C along with South Africa, Benin Republic, Zimbabwe, Rwanda and Lesotho. And despite being the hot favourites in the group, football experts are calling for caution and strategic approach to the games by the Super Eagles and the Nigeria Football Federation.
I believe they are going to take everything very serious right from the beginning. It will be, I believe, next World Cup. Nigeria has never missed 2 World Cups since 1994 that we qualified for the first time. It was only in 2006 that we missed the World Cup. And all other times we have been qualifying for the World Cup, except this last World Cup. I believe, we can't afford to miss 2 World Cups consecutively. It's not going to be a good it's not going to be good for Nigeria. I believe, all the players, all the administrators, the NFF and everybody try and work with them.
People are saying South Africa. I say no. In the fixtures, in our group, only South Africa you see. But what about if you go into the green grass? That's when things change. So you never know. All those games are very difficult and are very important. The maximum you're going to play 10 games. So it's not easy.
The talent is there. They have the desire to come and play for Nigeria. But one thing is not there. One thing is missing, which is that never die spirit. When they come to play in Africa, because over there, most of them, I think either they were born there or they were raised there. So when they come here, they think it's the same thing over there. It's not easy over here to play against some African countries. They too, they want to shine. They want to, get clubs abroad as well. So when they come, they want to fight you, especially when they are playing against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. They know they have a name, they have squad, they have good players. So they also want to prove themselves.
Former Super Eagles coach Gernot Rohr now manages Benin Republic, and revenging his unceremonious sack from the Nigeria role seems on the card.
Gernot Rohr knows our player. He knows the pattern, how the system, most of the players are. He's going to do it, but I think one-on-one Nigerian players can take over Benin.
If you're Gernot Rohr, what will you do? For you, it will look like it's a time to fight back. He wants to prove a point why he was sacked, which you cannot blame him for that. Every other person will want to do that, even if it's a Nigerian that was here and was sacked and went somewhere else to want to prove a point. So he will want to prove a point. We should be worried about the Benin team because they will redouble their efforts, if for nothing, just for Gernot Rohr to prove that he was a fantastic coach while he was here.
With the 9 slots up for grabs in Africa, the expectation of many football fans is Super Eagles must qualify for the World Cup in 2026 to banish the ghosts of missing out of the 2022 edition in Qatar.